Hello everybody and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Pokemon Safari Guide. Again, this is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, easily within my top 10, not only for the way he looks, but also because of his incredible usefulness. This Pokemon is Quagsire, Galar number 101, National number 195. I've used this Pokemon in Season 1 of the Pokemon Draft League. If you want to, there's an excellent video between me and Cameron, the leader of that league for a very long time. And Quagsire played an integral part in defeating Cameron in that match. No spoilers because you should have already watched it. But if you haven't, definitely go back and watch that because the Quagsire versus Tyranitar matchup is excellent. And without further ado, the Pokemon Safari Guide. On the left, you see Quagsire's regular non-shiny sprite, and on the right, a very pink shiny sprite. Yet again, blue to pink, pink to blue. It's what Pokemon does. I don't know why. It's like boy, girl, like gender stereotypes, whatever. I don't know. They do it. It's not very creative. Quagsire is the waterfish Pokemon, and it evolves from Wooper at level 20. Not a very high level to evolve, pretty easy to get one. Its egg group is Field and Water 1, and it was first introduced in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. It has a height of 4 foot 7 inches, and it weighs about 165.3 pounds. Roughly what I weighed my junior year of college. Primary type water, secondary type ground. It only has one weakness, but it is a 4 times weakness to grass. It is completely immune to electric, however, and it has resistances to steel, fire, poison, and rock. It has 3 different abilities in Damp, Water Absorb, and its hidden ability Unaware, which is the one we will be running. In Gold and Silver and Crystal, they did do different Pokédex entries. They stated that this carefree Pokemon has an easygoing nature. While swimming, it always bumps into boat holes, so it bumps its head onto the bottom of ships. Due to its relaxed and carefree attitude, it often bumps its head on boulders and boat holes as it swims. So not just ships, but also boulders, things that don't move. In Crystal, they got a little bit excited with it, so they gave him a little bit more info. Its body is always slimy, and it often bangs its head on the river bottom as it swims, but it seems not to care. So he's just swimming around, bumping his head on boat holes, boulders, and the bottom of the river. Nowhere is safe for Quagsire's head. In Pokemon Sword, they said that it has an easygoing nature. It doesn't care if it bumps its head on boats and boulders while swimming. Shield, pretty much the same thing as Crystal. Its body is always slimy, and it often bangs its head, not bumps, on the river bottom as it swims, but seems not to care. Here we see Quagsire's base stats. Pretty average. Not really anything spectacular. Its abilities: Damp prevents the use of explosive moves such as self-destruct by dampening its surroundings. Not terribly useful. Not very many trainers are running self-destruct on their Pokemon. Just because there's really no reason just to sacrifice a Pokemon like that. Water Absorb, this one is kind of useful and you can use it in certain scenarios, but it restores health if hit by a water type move instead of taking damage. Quagsire is very useful on sand teams because you eliminate that water type weakness, and he also gets a special defense boost because he's ground type inside of a sand terrain. His hidden ability Unaware is extremely useful, and it's the one that I typically run. When attacking, the Pokemon ignores the target Pokemon's stat changes. It doesn't matter if they have belly drummed, it doesn't matter if they have raised their defense or special defense. Quagsire is so unaware that he will not notice any of that. He will not take extra damage because the stat raises. He's going to take basically its base stat versus base stat, which, although his is not terribly high, his base stat total is only 430, and he has a pretty abysmal speed. Alright, so on the left we have Quagsire at level 100, and on the right we have Quagsire at level 50 to look at the stat differences. The item I like to run is Leftovers. Typically Quagsire is a bit of a stall Pokemon, so it's really useful to have that extra health. Ability Unaware, like I said before. Moves Scald, which is a stab water type move that can burn. Earthquake, which is a stab earth type or ground type move. Recover to help help stall out, and Toxic. Basically the focus is to absorb hits and stall Pokemon by using Toxic and just continuing to recover from whatever damage you may take. But absolutely avoid grass types at all costs because they will hurt you. Alternative items you can run: Citrus, the Ganlon Berry, Apricot Berry. So Ganlon and Apricot to raise your stats if you eat it whenever you come to low health. Citrus just to get an extra health boost so you don't have to use Recover an extra turn. Alternative moves you can run: Protect and Yawn. You can kind of throw those in wherever, preferably in like the Earthquake spot or maybe the Scald spot, depending on who you're facing. But yeah, you can do max special defense rather than defense, but it's not as effective. Going max defense is where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck, for sure. Quagsire, not a terribly complicated Pokemon. Like I said, this is pretty much all there is to it. You're just going to Toxic and you're going to stall with Recover. If you can squeak in a Scald or an Earthquake, go ahead, but it's not going to do very much damage. Basically, just max out that health, max out that defense. I like to run Bold Nature because I find that I use Scald more than Earthquake. So, Bold. You can also lower his speed if you'd rather do that, but I don't like to lower speed unless I know I'm going against a Trick Room team. So yeah, pretty much max health, max defense, Toxic, Recover, Scald, just stall as much as you can. You can run Yawn instead of Toxic, but I find that Toxic gets the best results. Again, if you want to watch the video, I will post it down below. Between the battle between me and Cameron in Season 1 of the Pokemon Draft League, and that is a pretty good example of the usefulness of Quagsire. You can also see his stalling abilities in the first battle between me and Jack in the Season 1 opener of the first season of the Pokemon Draft League. Those are just some good examples if you want to see him in action. Yeah, he's a very useful Pokemon, not a very high tier, but he does have instances where he does shine. This has been a product of Couch Pilot Games, and again, I am so happy to do these videos for you guys. I want to make sure that you guys learn about new Pokemon and think about putting these Pokemon in your teams. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Couch Pilot Games, or join us on Facebook, where you can get updates on everything dealing with couch aviation. You can also join our Pokemon Draft League group, where you will have updates on all of the Pokemon Draft League videos, and you will also be able to talk with our pilots and other trainers within our leagues. That way you can, become a part of the community, and we want to reach out to you and we want to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting Couch Pilot Games. We could not do this without your support.